Hello and welcome to another Health Talk with Lisa. I am Lisa Thomas, your clinical practitioner and owner of the Holistic Balanced Life Center located here in the DFW area. Well, today we have special guests with us as we embark upon another interesting topic. Now, one of our guests is a repeat. Now, you're familiar with this face. We have, once again, Miss Janelle Agnew, one of the professors that I work with. But we also have Kanisha Banis, who is also going to join us on this panel on today. And I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about themselves as we get into this topic. Now, today we're going to pretty much do a deep dive conversation about something that's kind of a little bit complex, but yet is ever evolving and ever changing. And we're going to be talking about marriages and relationships and divorce. So whether you are single, married, or divorced, or somewhere in between, well, we're going to talk about relationships today and how they shape our lives in powerful ways. So let's dive into it. Let's go ahead and grab yourself a beverage, whatever that beverage may be on today, and let's talk about it. But before we get going, let's go ahead and allow Ms. Agnew and Ms. Banis give us a little bit of an introduction about themselves, and then we're going to get into our topic.
Well, hello, everyone. I am back. And yes, I love the topic. And the reason why I chose to divulge in this topic is because a lot of us are either in a relationship, in a long-term marriage, or coming out of or going into or want to be married. And my biggest thing is feeding those who are in spaces and understanding that they're not alone. My purpose is to give my points of view on being divorced for 15 years. I was married for 20 and now in a new evolution of a relationship and learning from my sisters at work and feeding them what I am experiencing, but also being fed. That's my purpose.
All right, then.
For tonight.
Yes. Thank you, Miss Janelle. Thank you for that. All right, then. All right. Up next, you got Miss Kanisha. Give us a little bit about yourself.
Right. Well, first of all, I apologize for the video. I wish you all could see my face, put a face to a
She has
name.
a beautiful face too, guys.
Thank you. But my name is Kanisha. I have been in a relationship for about 7 years now. I'm not married, but of course I do want to be. Um, I am currently 31 years old. I met him back in my 20s, and we've been going strong ever since. And I believe I am here to share my insight on a woman who is coming up within her career, also juggling having a child, also juggling having a man. And it has its hardships, but it also has its ups. But I'm learning as I go. Got to keep God first. I know that.
That's the fruit, baby. That's the fruit. Okay.
Absolutely. And I myself, I am a divorcee. I was married to the father of my children. We married young, and right during while we were coming out of high school.
Wow.
And we ended up getting divorced in actually 2000, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And and I never did remarry. And unfortunately, he has since passed away in 2009.
I'm sorry to hear
And
it.
so I've never remarried, but I do desire to remarry. I do feel like that is something that is still in the cards for me. But I know that prior to me divorcing him, because we did marry young, we had some growing up to do. He had a little bit more growing up than I did. I had to grow up pretty fast, being that we had two daughters, and so I had to take the reins on this. But being that his upbringing, veered him in a different direction, it wasn't the direction I was going in, and so I ended up divorcing him, and I realized that I had to mature a little bit more faster because I had to now set an example for my daughters. And so but we found out later on that we were better friends, unmarried than married.
Right.
But I do hope to get married one day. And I see a lot of people that has gone through marriages and divorces, and some of those divorces are really messy. I am glad to say that the divorce wasn't messy. It was a very peaceful divorce. And
Okay.
you probably can speak on yours, Miss Janelle,
Mm-hmm.
about how your divorce was, but
Mm-hmm.
mine was very peaceful. But I do
Mm-hmm.
hope to get married one day. Hmm.
And I'm in a headspace right now where I'm learning and knowing who I am as a woman
Hmm.
and understanding the plight that I'm in right now, the phase that I am in right now. I don't tolerate what I tolerated
Hmm.
30 years ago. I just don't have zero tolerance for it.
Yeah.
So certain things that I look for, and it's the small things for me that
Hmm.
matters.
Hmm.
It's not the big, glamorous, boisterous things. It's the small things that matter,
Hmm.
and so understanding too that as you get older you understand that you love from your heart and not from your eyes,
Yeah. Yeah.
so not from what you see but what you feel and how you treat me is how I'm going to treat you.
Yeah.
Going through my divorce, I love to speak on it because I share just a snippet with my students, because I have students sitting in my classroom who are going through a divorce and don't know what tomorrow is going to bring.
Hmm.
So I share a small bit. They're like, "You're divorced and you're happy?" Yes, I'm happy. But it takes work.
Hmm.
I didn't wake up like this.
Yeah.
It's work. And we're the best of friends now. We can
Hmm.
call, we can joke around, and we're the best of friends now. But
Yeah.
going through the divorce, it wasn't pleasant at the time.
Hmm.
But now I understand. And like I told him, you were not my forever.
Yeah.
And I had to understand that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it was a divorce where my kids still love their father.
Hmm.
You know, I still laid that platform where that door was still open
Hmm.
and it didn't close. But
Exactly.
I like to share with others that are going through a divorce, and it's hard in the beginning, but it gets easier with time. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you, my kids.
Hmm.
Because when I was going through my divorce, that's when I got all of my degrees because
Yeah.
I knew I had to support my children.
Yeah.
But the thing was, God allowed me to go through that phase in my life so
Hmm.
that my daughter knew exactly what to tolerate and what
Hmm.
not to tolerate from a man. And
Exactly.
my son understood how to treat a woman.
Exactly.
I cannot I cannot say that enough.
Yeah.
I can't say it enough.
Miss
But
Van,
Miss
you know,
Fanny,
I'm glad you said that. And Miss Vanis, I know that you're in your singleness.
that's what I was going
Was there
about to hear.
a period that you had to go through a healing from
Hmm.
maybe a past relationship that now has prepared you for the current relationship that you're in?
Hmm.
Um, so you know what's funny is that I actually had to go through a healing in my current relationship
Mm.
because as you all stated that um he wasn't always this mature as he is
Mhm.
today. Of
Mhm.
course,
Hmm.
women do mature first, and I did
Yes.
mature before he did.
Yes.
Especially 2 years into the relationship, getting pregnant, I already knew that okay,
Hmm.
so we're gonna have to figure this out. We're gonna have to stop doing what we're doing. Again, it was we were in our 20s, so of course, in your 20s, you're running around, running the streets, just having a good time, just used to it, me and him,
Mhm.
and I had my baby, or well, I was pregnant during the pandemic during COVID.
Hmm.
So it was really hard. Um I had to do a lot of things alone, and he just wasn't understanding. He was
Mhm.
still moving the same way that he was in the beginning of the relationship instead of like a father, like someone that I can depend on, that I can count
Yes.
on. So
Yeah.
Right.
we had our hardships during that time, and I had to express him, express him, express. I actually had to leave him for him to understand that I was not playing with him.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's
So
what you gotta do sometimes.
yeah, I mean, I actually had to leave him, and then I left him, and he realized, okay, she's not playing with me. You either gonna get yourself together, or we just cannot be. And
Mm-hmm.
when he
Mhm.
decided to get himself together, I
Mm-hmm.
understood that, okay, this man really cares about his family, and he obviously have enough love and respect for me to change.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah, I
beautiful.
definitely
Yeah.
had to do some healing within my relationship, and it was hard. But one thing that I know, with us being women, we have to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to let go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's pain is
Mhm.
momentary. Troubles do not
Yes.
last
Yeah.
always. I
Yeah.
had to do a whole lot of praying within this relationship, still do.
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely still do.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yes, I definitely had to heal and take a journey by
Yes.
myself before I was
Mhm.
able to be the woman I am today with him.
And
Okay.
that's a blessing.
Yes.
Like I told you, hey, I learned so much from you
Mm-hmm.
because you and my baby are the same age, and so she has so much wisdom, and so it's like she's been here before. Like your daughters, Lisa, it's like
Mm-hmm.
they've been here before.
Yeah.
Their souls are more mature than our souls were at their age, and I
Mm-hmm.
look at them and like wow, you
Yeah.
learn so much.
How
So
did
tell us,
what?
how did you get over, Lisa?
Well, it took a lot of prayer. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to me seeking the divorce, I went to the Word first. I really did because I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that I was in alignment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I definitely went there. I wanted to make sure that if I was going to, per se, put away my husband, I had to make sure that I was doing the right thing for doing that. And of course, I
Right.
had grounds for doing so, with
Yes.
the adultery and things like that, and of course, being
Mm-hmm.
unequally yoked. Uh,
Right.
but I definitely underwent a lot of counseling prior to my divorce, and when I identified, that I was aligning with the Word,
Mm-hmm.
um, then I would, I felt at peace with it. He really thought that I was going to be there forever. He really did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, until he was surprised when he got those papers. Now, one of the things that I was very careful about is that I did understand that as long as he was still alive, I still was considered his wife. So even though he was given the right of divorcement, as long as he was still living, I was still considered his wife, and
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't really free to remarry.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unfortunate that he did pass away, due to his decline in health, and his personal reasons. But at that moment, I said, "Wow, I'm now actually released
Mm-hmm.
to remarry." Because the word allows that. So it really did take a lot of prayer. It really, and I went through my healing phase as well. And during that period, it really allowed me to really, for me to continue to mature and grow. And then, of course, allow my children to now see how I was able to handle things, and definitely allowed me to better the communication, and then it allowed me to be able to really to receive more wisdom from the Most High, so therefore I can continue to impart more wisdom into them. So
Exactly.
now they
Exactly.
actually, even though I am single as all get out, my
Mm-hmm.
children still come to me for wisdom regarding their marriages, even though
Mm-hmm.
I am single. I'm
Mm-hmm.
actively single. But they know that I'm not going to tell them anything incorrect. I'm going to tell them according to the Word, because I actually went down the correct path myself. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I am very cautious when it comes to the dating phase
Mm-hmm.
now, because for one, we don't know what we're getting out here. We
Oh
really
yeah,
don't.
this
Yeah,
can be scary.
Oh
that's
my
right.
God. When I tell you,
What'd you
it's
say,
so
Kay?
many people
Yeah,
scamming
that's
out
right.
there. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness, the
It is.
amount of men that are out scamming and attempting to scam. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I am thankful of is that the Most High covers me. I always say, Father, if they mean me no good, if they're meaning harm, or they're no good for me, remove them quickly,
Mm-hmm.
reveal who they are quickly,
Mm-hmm.
expose them quickly, and then they got
Exactly.
to be gone. Remove them quickly. And when I
Exactly.
tell you he is on point, he is on point.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
or they're going to always say something or do something that's going to cause them to be removed quickly. He don't tarry at all because he
Yes.
protects
Yes.
he protects me. He protects me. So I'm really thankful for that. And I know you all I'm sure have experienced some of the same
Oh
things.
yes. Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
yes. You
I
know,
do have a
dating.
question.
Yes.
Hmm.
Sorry, Miss Agnew, you go ahead.
No, I was going to say dating in this 25th, 23rd, 24th, 25 is is something else. That's all I can say. Go ahead, Kay.
Hmm.
I know we're kind of moving out of marriage and dating and etc. A question though for you all who have been married and divorced.
Okay.
So as a mother, as a spouse, as a woman,
Hmm.
what are your next steps? Or how do you deal with adultery? How do you deal with it? Like what's like I can only imagine. Okay. Because I am a little bit younger. Now God's
Hmm.
still working on me now.
Hmm.
He's still working on me. So I don't know how I would handle that as a person who, like us, we thrive in our
Hmm.
careers, we got kids, I'm, married, I come home, I do everything that you need me to do.
Hmm.
And then I find out that you decide you want to go cheat.
You know,
So
ooh,
I
I,
just wonder, I've always wondered, how do
I
you deal with it?
I tell you,
Lisa, you older
I
than
had
I
to take
though.
it on. I had to take on that task early on, and it was in my early 20s.
Mm.
And I tell you, um, because the kids, I really wanted to try to keep my family together. I really did, and so I think I held on a little bit longer than I probably should have.
Mhm.
And so I endured a little bit more than I would have wanted. And so I can say a few years went by where I endured some things. It was to the point to where my in-laws were entertaining the women.
Oh.
And it was utter disrespect.
Ooh.
And
Wow.
I got tired of being the laughing stock. And
Mhm.
then what was the last straw for me, Miss Bannis, is when he was bold enough to ride the women around in my car
Oh, wow.
and totaled out one of my cars. And then one of the women actually called my home, and I
Ooh.
was done. I was
Mm.
done at that point. And I said, at this point, it was no more about me trying to keep my family together because obviously he did
The
not
two first.
care to keep the family together. And then
Mhm.
that's when I said no more.
Mhm.
And when I said no more, I went downtown, 1515 Main Street, and I went to, to legal aid at that time because I was a young mother. And I said that was it. And I went and got assistance to go ahead and file. Now, one of the things that I did tell him, I said, thanks to you, Anthony Hicks, no one else would get that opportunity
Opportunity,
to
baby.
take me through that ever again.
Yes. Yes.
And I eventually had to forgive him.
Mhm.
And then that's when we discovered we were better friends unmarried. And
Mhm.
then he did, prior to his passing, he did ask for forgiveness and he did give me my flowers.
Mhm.
But in this day and age, because times are different now,
Mhm.
in this day and age, I hate to say it, but I have zero tolerance.
Oh
In
yeah.
fact, on that line of Integra,
Mhm.
you know how that right there in that middle where there's a zero right there,
Yes.
and on this side here it goes into the
Right.
negative.
Yes.
I'm on that side.
On that side.
It's a negative.
Negative. I would honestly say, I would honestly say, Lisa, you funny. I would honestly say for me, going through my divorce and then understanding where I was at that time in my life, I can honestly say God was my dude. God was my right hand. God was my
Hmm.
everything. I
Hmm.
fell to my knees multiple times because I was like, what did I want to deserve this?
Yeah.
And then I had to remove myself because it wasn't about me. It wasn't me, it was him.
Yeah.
And once you understand that and remove yourself from the situation, because there's nothing you could have done to stop him from doing what he wanted to do in that moment. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I thank God for my minister because he told me to leave.
Yeah.
He told me. And I said, I don't need the fluff. I don't need to be coming here every week. I need to know, is this right by God? Is this right for me to do at this time? He said, let him go because he's not going to let her go.
Mm-hmm.
So I did what was best for Janelle.
Yeah.
I had to still take care of two kids. Okay. So I had to make sure that my foundation was solid so that my kids can rock with me.
Yeah.
So I had to make sure that I understood what the plight was for me. And I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you, divorce, you go through the grieving process in a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go through the steps, the 5 steps.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go through all of those. And I can honestly say I'm at a point in my life right now that I can say when I look at him, I'm thankful that he blessed me with my children. And I'm thankful I understand, Kay, that he was not meant to be my couple of forevers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Janelle. I'm with you on
Mm-hmm.
that. Do you all feel that, we hear this term love languages.
Mm-hmm.
How important you think this is to a healthy relationship?
I think it's vital.
Mm-hmm.
I do as well.
Yeah, what would you say yours is?
My love language is telling me you love me
Mm-hmm.
by saying it. Like if we're standing in the grocery store and you come
Mm-hmm.
behind me and I
Mm-hmm.
know you're there because you're my security,
Yeah,
just whisper, "Ooh, I love you."
yeah,
Just little things like that. That's
yeah,
my love language.
yeah,
Action is my love
yeah,
language.
yeah,
Yes. What
Yes.
about you, Kay?
I think words of affirmation.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think acts of service, and when I say
yeah,
acts of service, I mean the most simplest things,
yeah,
such as
Yes.
opening my car door. If
That's
you're walking
it.
in front of me, reach your hand out and let me grab it.
yeah,
You
Yes.
know, walk to put me on the sidewalk while you walk on the other side of the
Other
road.
side. That's
You know,
it.
yeah,
give me your
Yes.
jacket when I'm cold.
That's
Things
it.
like
yeah,
that. Make sure you
yeah.
when you pull it up and you see a puddle, make sure you put me on the side where I don't get in the water.
Do it.
Exactly.
Things
That's
like
it.
that.
Exactly.
Yes.
I agree with that. I'm with you on that one because the acts of service,
That's all of that.
I'm always serving other people and
Yes.
we're serving people all the time. But
Yes.
sometimes I just want somebody just to give back to me.
And you want to
Give
be
me just the
selfish
simplest
about it.
thing. Just tell
Yes.
me that, I was
Yes.
just thinking about you today. You know,
Yes.
you know, hold my hand,
Right. Right.
hey, I saw this in the store and I just thought of you. It can be the
Mm.
smallest thing because I can buy a
Yes.
lot of stuff on my own, but
That's it.
just to think about, you know what? I know you like this. I know you like this particular soap, and I know you wear this. I thought about you, and I'm going to give you this soap. It don't take much to please me. It really do not. It really do not. You know, I cut your grass the other day. I saw that it was a little high. I just came by and decided to cut it. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That kind of stuff.
Yes.
Just the
Yes.
smallest things.
Yes.
It don't take much. And then, um, and just, and then the physical touch. Show
That's
me
it.
that you actually care about me. Like I
Mm-hmm.
like that, holding the hands. Show me that you
Mm-hmm.
actually care about me.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think are some of the other keys to a successful relationship?
Communication is number one.
Yeah, yeah,
Without giving. Praying together.
yeah,
I believe in praying together. That's one thing Tim believes in. And so I'm really thankful for my new relationship because he brings something that I didn't have because we got married when I was 18. So
yeah,
we had to grow to love each other. Whereas with him, we're growing and knowing and loving each other along the way. So
yeah,
his biggest thing is prayer,
yeah, yeah,
prayer, prayer,
yeah.
prayer, prayer.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's where I was going to head next to. I know
Yeah.
since our time is winding down,
Okay.
I wanted to go and to incorporate, biblically and
Mm-hmm.
spiritually, how important is that to you to have those aspects added to the relationship?
Very. Very, very
Very
important.
for me too. I definitely want my man to understand God and
Hmm.
lead with him. You know, if you're gonna lead my household, I really, really need you to
Mhm.
be active in prayer and
Mhm.
in
Hmm.
your scripture because that is
Hmm.
very important.
It
Without
is.
God, we are nothing. And I completely understand that. And
Hmm.
the same way that I drop down to my knees, I need my men to do the same thing.
Same.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So
Hmm.
Wow. Wow.
it's actually a deal breaker for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Actually,
love
that's a
it.
deal breaker for me.
Love
If you do not put God first in your life, I mean, I understand we're all human.
it. Hmm.
Everybody, make mistakes. We all sin. Okay,
Mhm.
but
Yes.
I
Yes.
need you to put God first. If you do not do that, we cannot be.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we go ahead and close out, just real brief, how do you think that generational and cultural differences impact the relationship?
Um, honestly, think, and I don't mean no harm when I say this because I, have a mother, I have a grandmother. I think our generation does not tolerate as much as you all generation did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's true.
That cutthroat you say, we are next. We don't play no we don't play no games.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We don't
Mm-hmm.
have a problem with getting up and walking out.
Yes, yes, you're right
So
about that. That is definitely, yeah, that gap is definitely different. It's in
Oh yeah,
and
my
the thing
daughter.
is,
Ooh,
yeah,
she don't tolerate nothing. You hear me?
yeah. But you know
Woo.
what? But then that keeps people on their toes too.
That's it.
Yeah, and
And
yep,
I'm
and
it
and, and
thankful,
it
does.
and it
Lisa.
sets a
I'm
standard too.
thankful.
It really does set
Yes.
a standard.
Yes,
Yes.
and it sets a foundation for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad my daughter saw what I went through because she understood it where my son didn't. You understand? Because he was in the fifth and she was in the 10th. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad she saw me take pride in myself
Mm-hmm.
and understand how to love myself
Mm-hmm.
enough to
Yes.
know that I deserve better than what I was getting at that time.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Exactly.
did he repent? Has he apologized? Oh yes, he does.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and he gives me my flowers because he said I did
Exactly.
an amazing job with my children, with our children and everything. And I'm just thankful that I can honestly say I am a woman first.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Black women. I love
Yes.
all women that
Yes.
stand in their truth, understand their worth, and
Mm-hmm.
walk when it's time to walk.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. Well, if you had to give one piece of advice to anybody, any of our listeners, what would that advice be when it comes to relationships?
Um, listen to your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Listen. A lot of things can be fixed,
Mm-hmm.
but we're so headstrong that nobody wants to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Listening and communicating is very important. Do not listen to respond. Listen to understand.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like it. And I would say mine would be number one is big. I'm big on communication, but
Mm-hmm.
also understanding that you come first.
Mm-hmm.
Put
Yeah, that's a good one.
yourself put yourself first in the relationship because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of anyone else?
Exactly. Exactly. And
Yes.
I would say that if we're going to go through hurt,
Hmm.
oftentimes in life, and take the time to heal. Don't rush from one
Yes.
relationship and
To
right into
another.
another one. Take that
Yes.
time to really heal and to identify, what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And
Right.
then and see, hold yourself accountable as well. I mean, because
On your part.
it's always two parts to
Two
any.
sides to every
Yeah,
story.
so take that time to heal instead of
Mhm.
jumping into one, from one thing to another. Because when we don't take that time to heal, then all we're doing is just carrying that baggage,
From
over
one
from one
relationship to
relationship to the
another.
other.
Yes,
Well,
Yeah.
this has
ma'am.
really been amazing.
I
Yes, I
know.
do
I
enjoy
Yes.
love this
this.
topic. I'm glad you chose it.
Yes.
I really
Thank
do glad
you.
that I'm really
Thank
glad
you.
that you chose this topic. And and so as we wrap up today's conversation for right now, because I feel other conversations yet to come.
Oh,
But
yes.
as we
Yes,
wrap
ma'am.
this one up, this conversation on marriage, divorce and relationship, I hope that our listening audience has found some type of truth, some type of healing, even some
Yes.
type of fresh perspective. And
Yes.
so, and we have to realize that relationships aren't always easy. And whether
Mhm.
you're navigating commitment, healing from a
Right.
heartbreak, or learning to love yourself better, just remember
Mhm.
you are not alone. And so
Mhm.
growth takes time,
It
and every
does.
chapter, whether it be good or bad, can teach us something so meaningful. And so, if today's episode resonated with you, share it with a friend. And
Yes.
be sure to leave us a review on YouTube. And we would love for
Yes.
you to reach out to us at holisticbalancelifecenter.com. And we would like to hear your story. So until next time, I would like to thank my guests, Miss Agnew and Miss
You're
Bannis, for
welcome.
joining me
You're
on today. I
welcome.
hope to have them back again for
Oh, you will.
another exciting
Yes.
topic. So,
Definitely.
yes, I would love to have you all come back again. And
Thank
so,
you.
until next time, be sure to show up for yourself and then for
Yes.
those who you love. So, thank you all again. Thank you for joining us. And this has been Lisa and a Health Talk with Lisa. And appreciate you all joining us for today. And until next time, thank you. Enjoy the
Thank
rest of your
you.
day.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.